Hello, Mrs. Golden.
Good morning, Katy. Steve-a-la, Dan-a-la, the ice cream man is here.
Steve's at camp. I'll take one for him.
Enjoy.
Mrs. Golden, Danny just finished breakfast. You'll spoil him.
Don't I always bring the boys something every time I come over here?
Molly, I want to show you something. Come in. For the party on Saturday night. What do you think of it?
A good seamstress can fix anything. But for you, isn't this just a little zippity-doo-dah?
For me, it's for Katy.
Katie's going, too. Don't tell me that son of yours finally came to his senses.
It's time he woke up. They're so right for each other.
Mrs. Morley, you're a regular matchmaker.
This time it'll work.
Mazel tov.
Beautiful, but there's not much of it.
It covers your ankles.
I wasn't thinking about down there. I wish Glen could see you.
Yoo-hoo! Congressman, darling. Come in a minute, please.
Hello, Mrs. Golden. How are you?
Oh, never mind me. Look at her.
Katy, that is a knockout.
Well, thank you, Mr. Morley.
I've never seen you wear anything like that. Oh, incidentally, what time does the party start tomorrow night?
8:30.
Fine. I asked Miss Carson to join us so we can pick her up on the way. Stunning, Katy. Really stunning.
I'm sorry, Katy. I'm terribly sorry. That's all right, Mrs. Morley.
Oh, wait a minute, darling. I'll take you out of the dress.
I'll manage. Excuse me. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have been so devious. I should have suggested it days ago.
Don't eat your heart out. These things happen. Oh, did I ever tell you how I got my Sammy?
I don't think so.
We were sitting looking at the lights of the Hudson River, and all of a sudden he said to me, Molly, I want you should be my wife.
How romantic.
Yeah, it sounds that way, doesn't it? But you don't know how long it took. It wasn't until Hurricane Hardaway started sending me flowers and candy and calling me 20 times a day.
Oh, you liked him?
I didn't even know him.
You just said he sent you flowers and candy.
No, not him. Mrs. Shapiro.
Who's Mrs. Shapiro?
The lady who told Sammy that Hurricane Hardaway was in love with me.
And he really wasn't.
No, of course not. It made my Sammy so jealous he proposed.
Oh, I'm beginning to understand. It was Mrs. Shapiro who sent you the flowers and candy.
Right.
And the telephone calls were for Mrs. Shapiro.
Wrong. Mr. Shapiro. Everything authentic. My Sammy's no dope.
I see. It's all very interesting. Well, I don't see what it's got to do with Glen and Katy.
Well, Mrs. Shapiro was probably the best matchmaker in the world until I came along. Leave it to me. I'll put Katy and Glen together.
You?
20 years of experience I can't miss.
Oh, but...
Would you say Grace and the Prince are happy?
Don't tell me you did that.
Mrs. Morley, your son and Katy belong. Let me give them a little nudge. Smells like a dentifrice.
Svensk stuva.
What's that in English?
Swedish stew.
Swedish stew, the dentifrice. What's the difference? Excuse me for mentioning it, but you should put more onions in this.
Oh, I would rather not. When I peel onions, they always make me cry.
Maybe it's none of my business, but other fish are swimming in the sea. If I were you, I would still wear that dress. I'd call up another fella and go out with him. Maybe if the congressman heard about it, he'd be jealous.
I know you mean well, Mrs. Golden, but I'd rather you didn't concern yourself.
Take my advice. Cut a little onion.
But they all...
So you'll cry a little. Believe me, it'll taste better. You, Senator, can I have a minute?
Well, of course, Mrs. Golden. But I am a congressman, not a senator.
If it was up to me, you'd be president. You look like the kind of a man who would never hurt anybody's feelings.
Well, I try not to.
So why Katie?
What about Katie?
Maybe you just don't like her.
I don't know whatever gave you an idea like that. I'm very fond of her.
You're sure?
Of course I'm sure. She's a fine person.
Then why aren't you taking her to the party?
Oh. Because I'm taking Miss Carson.
And Katie's staying home with a broken heart.
Oh, come now, Mrs. Golden. Surely you're not serious.
Do you think she got that dress to take Danny to the museum? When she heard that you were taking Miss Carson, she nearly died. Listen, she is out in that kitchen right this minute with tears coming out of her eyes.
Katie, please don't cry.
I can't help myself.
I didn't know you wanted to go to the party.
Mr. Morley, going to the party was not my idea.
Look, Katie, I think we better have an understanding. I do have a life apart from this household.
Of course.
There's my work and then my social life. And, well, there's no reason for you to be upset if I go out with Miss Carson.
Upset? Who's upset?
If you're crying.
A nerve. Me crying over you.
Oh, what other reason would there be?
Onions. You go out with whomever you like. Oh, Himmel, you're the most conceited man I ever met.
Well, I hope you're satisfied.
The world isn't end. I'll think of something.
No more.
Just one more nudge.
No. Now, I mean it, Molly. You can't meddle with people's lives.
All right, have it your way. From now on, I'll let them both be miserable.
You tell Mr. Morley Miss Carson is here, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Greetings, I'm Molly Golden.
Hello.
So why are you standing here when we could sit and talk in the beautiful living room?
The congressman and I will be leaving in a minute.
So for a minute you can sit. Come, we'll get acquainted. Oh, such a pretty girl and such a pretty outfit. Of course, that skirt is a little short, but on you it looks good.
Thank you.
I'm a dressmaker. If you ever need anybody, call on me.
I don't think it's likely. My things are done by Monsieur Durrell exclusively. They're expecting us at the club, Glen. Will you be much longer?
2 minutes, Susie.
Darling, maybe you could answer me a question.
Yes.
You look like you've been around. I mean, you're a regular woman of the world, so maybe you understand it.
Understand what?
How a man who's going to get married can take out a whole other lady.
Well, I should think, as you so quaintly put it, the whole other lady might not be very important to the gentleman.
Oh, she'll make a beautiful bride.
Who?
He didn't tell you.
Who didn't tell me what?
The congressman, he's getting married.
You must be mistaken. I just talked to him. We're playing tennis.
Maybe that's why.
Why what?
Oh, shh. I shouldn't have told you. He probably wants to break the news himself. Of course, during the tennis game. No. He's too much of a gentleman for that. After the game, he lets you win, he jumps over the net, and he shakes your hand goodbye.
Who is he going to marry?
Come here, Danny. I won't hurt Charlie. I love him, too. No!
It's minor surgery. All I have to do is sew his ear on. I'm sorry. I didn't know you were here, Miss Carson.
Your Aunt Molly's a regular Ben Casey when it comes to sewing up ears. Come on, I'll fix it.
Who is she? Who's the girl? So it's you. You finally hooked him. Hooked? Who? Come off it. You're not fooling anyone. You've been after Glen ever since you moved in here.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about.
Have it your way, sugar. But skip the wedding invitation. I won't be around.
All ready? Let's go.
No, thanks. Marry her. It won't last. Her smorgasbord will bore you to death.
What was that all about?
I don't know.
Did you tell her we were getting married?
Certainly not.
Are you sure?
Are you calling me a liar?
You must have said something.
You are calling me a liar, Mr. Morley. I quit.
Oh, no, you don't, Miss Holstrom. Not this time. You're fired.
Hello, Congressman, darling.
I've been wanting to talk to you.
So talk.
Did you by any chance speak with Miss Carson when she was here?
Miss Carson?
The lady who came to play tennis.
Oh, the one with the short skirt. On her it looks good. On me, you wouldn't believe it.
Never mind all that. Did you tell her that I was going to marry Katy?
Me?
Mrs. Golden, I asked you a simple question. Be good enough to give me a simple answer.
Would you be good enough to repeat that simple question?
Did you tell her?
I'm a regular George Washington. I cannot tell a lie. I am guilty. Hello, Sammy. It's me you're expecting, Liz Taylor. I want you to do me a favor.
Listen to reason, Katy. I thought it was you. I am terribly sorry.
Mr. Morley, we have nothing more to say to each other.
It was a mistake. I acted on impulse. I was wrong. I apologize.
You called me a liar.
I didn't know what else to think. I didn't know until Mrs. Golden just told me. Now, please, stay.
I'm leaving this evening.
Where will you go? What will you do?
Do not worry about me, Mr. Morley. I have plans of my own.
Do you realize what you've done?
I could kill myself. Believe me, I had good intentions.
Would you mind telling me what they were?
You and Katy, I thought you were in love. I wanted to bring you together.
Mrs. Golden, how dare you intrude in the private affairs of other people? Go upstairs and tell Katy what you did and try and straighten this thing out.
I'll try, but it won't do any good. Katy won't stay. She's in love with someone else.
In love?
Oh, there I go again. Don't say a word. I didn't tell you.
With whom?
Him?
I didn't know she was interested in someone. She said she had plans.
I looked at the card. Not even my Sammy would write so intimate.
Read the card? You had no right to do that, Mrs. Golden.
Well, I just hate to see a nice girl like Katy getting mixed up with a schlemiel like Charlie.
Charlie? You know him?
No, I've learned my lesson. From now on, I'm keeping my big mouth shut.
Mrs. Golden. Katy is not just a governess. She's a friend. If she's mixed up with some schmiel, I'd like to know about it.
No, darling, not schmiel. Schlemiel.
All right. If you know who he is, tell me about him.
Well, nice hair that he's got. Cute-looking that he is, but down deep he's a wolf. It's a funny thing. That's his name, Wolf. Charlie Wolf.
Who is he? What does he do?
Well, he's a businessman. He's a shrewd operator. He started out with nothing. Now he owes millions. He's a playboy and a schlemiel. Oh, well, the worst that could happen is they'll get married. Who knows? It could even work out.
Dad, we're going to the museum.
Wonderful.
Katie, are we going to see Indians at the museum?
Yeah, but first put your coat on.
May I speak to you for a moment?
Uh-huh, if you wish.
Would you hop in the car, Danny? Katy will be right along. Katy, I'm afraid you're heading for trouble.
I beg your pardon.
Well, don't let flowers and gifts go to your head.
Flowers and gifts.
Yes. I had no idea the romance had gone this far.
Romance?
I know all about Charlie Wolf.
Charlie Wolf? Well, it was silly of me to hide it. But I know you will approve of him. He's very cute.
So I've heard. According to my information, his last name is quite apt. He is a wolf.
I know. It makes him much more interesting.
Frankly, Katy, I don't want you to get mixed up with him.
Mr. Morley, I think you should understand I have my work and I have my social life. And there's no reason for you to be upset because I like Charlie Wolf.
Upset? I'm not upset. I'm simply trying to save you from an unpleasant situation.
Was Miss Carson unpleasant?
That's different.
Why?
She's a girl.
It's all right for you to go out with Miss Carson, but you don't want me to see Charlie.
Katy, I know about men like Mr. Wolf. He is not for you. Now, take my advice. Don't see him anymore.
Sorry, Mr. Morley. I intend to spend the whole afternoon with him.
Very well, Miss Holstrom. Have it your own way. Mother, I have to talk to you about Katy. Hello? Who is this, please? Now, she's not in. Yes, I'll tell her. Goodbye.
Who was that?
Charlie Wolf.
That must be the 6th time today.
I don't like it. Not that kind of a man. Not with Katy.
Who is he?
Some rich lady killer named Charlie Wolf.
I didn't know anything about it.
Neither did I till Mrs. Golden told me. Katy has kept him well undercover.
Molly. Did you tell Mr. Morley about Mr. Wolf?
You should have told Mother when it started. Then she might have been able to do something about it.
Is that the same wolf that had ear trouble?
Mm-hmm.
Not a very big wolf, is he?
Not very.
Hadn't you better tell Mr. Morley just how big he really is?
He's a little wolf. He's a doll.
The doll I bought Danny for his birthday 2 weeks ago.
Mrs. Golden, you are absolutely incorrigible. How could you do that?
Because I know I'm right. You're in love with Katy.
Don't be ridiculous.
Well, look at you. You're running around like a bashukina just because you think she's out with another man. Mr. Morley, you're jealous.
Pow!
Hey, Dad, what are you doing?
I'm sorry, Danny. I lost my head. Hey, look over there, son. The best exhibit here is Custer's Last Stand. Charlie Wolfe, huh?
Molly meant well. Please don't be angry.
Angry? I'm not angry.
Custer's not down there.
Oh, he went that way. Do you mind?
Mind what? Not at all.
Katy's a farmer's daughter. You can't resist that gal. She's country style but city design. Got a smile that's sprinkled with sunshine. Look at
This afternoon at 4 Eastern, a student nurse loses faith in herself on Medical Center. Then at 5, afternoon game show fun gets underway with Tic-Tac-Toe. Now stay with us for the Patty Duke Show next on CBS.
she's just what we've been needing. So glad the farmer's daughter